Okay, so picture this. You know the standard architecture of a ghost story, right?
Oh, absolutely.
We've all seen the movies, we've read the books.
You get the creepy Victorian mansion.
Yeah, sitting up on a hill,
Yeah.
probably raining.
Definitely some fog rolling in.
Exactly. You have the flickering lights, uh, the sudden drop in
The
temperature.
doors slamming shut on their own.
Right. And usually, right at the center of all that atmosphere, you have a ghost with a very specific, a very understandable agenda.
It's the classic unfinished business trope, you know?
Yeah.
The ghost wants justice for a murder
Right.
or it wants to find its lost child.
Or just wants you to dig up its bones from the cellar and, like, give them a proper burial.
Right, there's a transactional logic to the haunting. If A, then B.
Exactly. If you solve the mystery, you stop the haunting. You're essentially playing a detective, but with a proton pack.
Right.
But let's unpack a terrifying alternative today. What if the thing haunting your house doesn't want justice?
What if it doesn't care about revenge at all?
Right. What if the entity that is scratching inside your walls is just, well, what if it's just bored?
Which is a shift that completely destabilizes the whole genre.
It really does.
Because if a ghost is vengeful, you can appease it. You can negotiate with it.
You can reason with it in a way.
But boredom implies this chaotic intelligence. It implies that the entity is poking you, scaring you.
Dismantling your sanity.
Yeah, dismantling your sanity simply because it's Tuesday and there's nothing good on TV.
Right.
It turns the haunting into a game where you are the unwilling toy.
And that is the deeply unsettling and honestly darkly funny premise of the source material we're diving into today.
Right.
We are looking at the Play Nice novel by Rachel Harrison.
And our mission for this deep dive is to really just get under the hood of this story, because on the surface, yes, it's a haunted house book.
It'd have all the trappings.
But underneath, it is a savage critique of family dynamics.
It's so savage. It's obviously horror. I mean, there's a possession, there are scares, there is genuine dread.
But it's also this biting family comedy.
Yeah. It's a character study of three estranged sisters dealing with the aftermath of a very, very complicated childhood. I've actually heard it described as Succession meets The Conjuring.
Oh, that captures the vibe perfectly.
Right.
Because you have that sharp, cynical, fast-paced dialogue of a dysfunctional, wealthy family. But then you have this looming supernatural threat hanging over every single conversation.
You really do.
We're going to explore how Rachel Harrison uses the supernatural to talk about gaslighting, the validity of female anger, and just the absolute nightmare of playing nice to survive a toxic environment.
And we really need to talk about how the title itself acts as both an instruction and a warning.
Play nice.
Exactly. It's the rule women are so often given to survive in a patriarchal family structure. You know, don't make a scene.
Smooth things over.
Keep the peace. But in this book, it becomes a literal survival mechanic against a demon.
So let's just jump right in. We have to start with the people.
Yeah.
The Barnes girls.
The sisters. And we are seeing this whole story through the eyes of the youngest sister, Clio Louise Barnes. And let me tell you, Clio is an absolute vibe.
She really is. She's 25, living in New York City, working in fashion and styling.
Yeah.
And she's the lens through which we view this entire mess. She is deeply, deeply cynical.
She actually describes herself as having, quote, impeccable vibes.
Yes.
Which is such a specific modern way to armor yourself, isn't it?
It really is. She views her whole life through the lens of content and aesthetics.
Even when things are going wrong.
Exactly. Even in a crisis, she's critiquing the lighting in the room. She's looking at the composition of the tragedy rather than feeling it.
It's a coping mechanism, that detachment, that irony. It's a shield.
Mm-hmm.
She's the kind of narrator who will outright tell you she's traumatized, but she'll do it with this dry wit that keeps you at arm's length.
She absolutely refuses to be pitied.
And we have to look at where that comes from. There's this line early on in the source material where she recalls some advice from her mother.
Oh, this line.
It stuck me cold.
The mother, Alexandra, told her daughters, and this is a direct quote, "I'd rather you girls open your legs before you ever open your hearts."
Imagine a mother saying that to her young daughters.
Just for shocking.
It's so visceral, but it explains everything about Clio's worldview.
It does. She believes intimacy is dangerous. Sex is fine. Physical closeness is fine. She's very open about that.
Yeah, she treats her body like she treats a house. It's functional. It can be decorated. It can be used.
But emotional vulnerability, that is where you get destroyed. So she keeps everyone at a distance with sarcasm and style. She curates her personality the exact same way she curates an outfit.
It creates this really interesting tension for the reader because you want to hug her, but you know she would hate that.
She would probably critique your sweater while you were doing it.
100%. So then you have the other two sisters forming this really tense trio. There's Lita, the oldest.
Lita is the classic eldest daughter archetype on steroids.
Oh, yeah.
She's rigid, controlling, a total perfectionist. She grinds her teeth so much she has to sleep with a night guard.
Her entire life is about maintaining the appearance of normal.
She wants everything to be appropriate. She's the one who remembers the birthdays, organizes the funerals, and judges everyone else for not doing it right.
And she's married to Tommy, right?
Yes, Tommy, who is this sweet sweater vest wearing guy who is a complete pushover.
Which psychologically makes perfect sense for Lita.
Totally. She grew up in sheer chaos, so she deliberately chose a partner she can direct. She needs safety, and for her, safety looks like control.
She needs to be the captain of the ship because she is terrified of what happens if she ever lets go of the wheel.
And then there's Daphne, the middle child.
The peacemaker.
Right. Daphne is a chef, which is highly symbolic. She's always feeding people, nurturing others.
But she's described as a shapeshifter.
Yes. She adapts to whatever the room needs her to be to keep the conflict low.
If Lita is the rigid structure and Clio is the rebellion, Daphne is the insulation between them.
She suffocates her own needs to keep the peace. She's the one who absorbs the shock so the family doesn't completely shatter.
So you have the rebel, the controller, and the peacemaker. And they're united because they're all, quote-unquote, survivors of their mother's madness.
Let's talk about the parents, because this is where all the trauma actually stems from. The mother, Alexandra, has just recently died of a massive heart attack.
Right. And the sister's relationship with her was basically non-existent at that point.
Because in their the narrative entirely controlled by their father, Alexandra, was an alcoholic, she was abusive, and she was crazy.
And specifically, the flavor of her crazy was that she believed their childhood home in Connecticut was possessed by a demon.
She even wrote a memoir about it called Demon of Edgewood Drive.
Which the dad hates with a burning passion.
Oh, James, the dad. He is a fascinating antagonist because he doesn't twirl a mustache.
He's the hero in the family mythos.
Exactly. He's the one who saved the girls from the crazy mom. He is deeply controlling of the narrative, and he's remarried to Amy, who is the girl's former dance teacher.
Which is a massive red flag subplot on its own.
It really is.
Amy smells like candy, and it's super sweet, almost aggressively sweet. But there's this lingering suspicion, especially from Clio, about whether Dad and Amy got together before the divorce.
But Dad denies it, and in the Barnes family, Dad's word is law.
He has created this reality where he is the rational, benevolent protector, and the mother was the source of all the family's chaos.
He's successfully rewritten history to suit his own ego.
So the inciting incident of the story is the mother's death. The girls have to go back to the family home, Edgewood, to deal with the estate.
And Lita and Daphne just want to sell it.
They want to be done with it.
It's a place of deep trauma for them. They want to liquidate the asset and move on with their lives.
But Clio sees a project.
She sees a house she can renovate, flip, and maybe prove something to herself in the process. She insists on staying there alone to fix it up.
Why do you think she does that? Do you think it's really just about the money? Or is she looking for something?
I think it's way deeper than the money. Clio is the one who is most like her mother.
Rebellious, artistic.
Right. I think part of her wants to confront the space. She genuinely thinks she's immune to the crazy that consumed her mother because she's so deeply cynical.
She thinks her irony protects her.
She thinks, I'm not like Mom. I have impeccable vibes. I can handle a fixer-upper.
But by staying there, she's walking right into the mouth of the thing that destroyed her family.
It's that classic horror hubris. I'm too cool to get possessed.
So that takes us into section 2. We are back at Edgewood Drive in Connecticut. It looks like a standard suburban house, but the vibes are off immediately.
And we get to the funeral, which is a crucial scene because the sisters are stepping back into their mother's world, a world they were explicitly told was delusional.
And they meet the people who actually knew Alexandra in her later years, specifically Aunt Helen.
Helen is Alexandra's sister, and she is just as sharp and cynical as Clio.
I loved Aunt Helen. She's smoking, she's drinking, she's wearing Eileen Fisher. She is just cool.
And she drops a massive bomb on Clio. She reveals that Mom wasn't just crazy. She had a community. She had a partner, Roy, who is literally a demonologist.
And this is where the dad is hero narrative really starts to crack.
Helen hints that James gaslit the girls about the past. She suggests that he knew more than he let on, and that he painted Alexandra as the villain to cover up his own behavior.
It introduces the idea that the madness might have actually been a reaction to something real.
It's the first time anyone has ever validated the mother's reality to the girls.
And then we have the book, The Forbidden Memoir, Demon of Edgewood Drive. Dad had strictly banned the girls from reading it when they were kids.
He said it was lies, exploitation, garbage.
Censorship is such a powerful tool of control.
By forbidding the book, he ensured they never heard their mother's side of the story. He kept the microphone entirely to himself.
But Clio, being the rebel, finds a copy hidden in the house.
And this scene is so intense, Dad catches her with it.
And he doesn't just take it away. He doesn't just, ground her.
He literally takes the book to the backyard grill and burns it.
Think about the sheer violence of that image. He isn't physically hitting Clio, but he is destroying a woman's words.
He is incinerating her testimony. It's symbolic violence. It's a complete act of erasure.
And for Clio, who builds her life around observing things, this triggers her suspicion immediately. She realizes that if he is this afraid of a paperback book,
There must be something in it he doesn't want her to see.
if it was just nonsense, he'd laugh at it. But he is deeply threatened by it. So naturally, she goes straight on eBay and buys another copy.
Because you cannot stop a Barnes girl when she's curious.
And she starts reading it while she's staying alone in the house.
This gives us a brilliant dual narrative structure. We have Clio in the present, renovating the house, painting walls, trying to impose order.
And then we have excerpts from the book where we see the past from the mother's perspective.
We see the possession starting, the girls playing with invisible friends, the cold spots, the escalating dread.
And the contrast is chilling. You have Clio trying to make the house beautiful with her impeccable vibes, trying to style her way out of the haunting.
And meanwhile, she's reading about how this exact entity slowly dismantled her mother's sanity.
There is one detail in the memoir that really stands out. The mom writes about an exorcism weekend.
Right.
The plan was for the dad to take the girls for the weekend so the house could be cleansed. But he abandoned them.
He claimed it was his weekend to have the girls per the custody agreement, but then he just refused to pick them up.
Leaving Alexandra alone with the kids and the demon during the most dangerous possible time.
That part is so infuriating. It paints the dad not just as a skeptic, but as someone who actively set the mom up to fail.
He wanted her to break.
Exactly. He framed her desperation as incompetence. He turned her legitimate fear into a symptom of mental illness.
It's the ultimate gaslight.
He engineered a situation where she would look crazy and then punished her for looking crazy.
Okay, let's get into the spookiness. Section 3. The haunting manifests. It starts small, right? It isn't head-spinning right away.
It's subtle escalation. It's almost like gaslighting by a ghost. Clio finds the word hello written in her own sketchpad.
But it is not her handwriting.
No. It's an intrusion. It's a violation of her creative space. It's someone or something saying, I am here and I am watching you.
And then the scratches. Clio primes a wall white. She's doing the work, trying to flip this house. Later, she comes back and finds 4 deep scratches gouged into the drywall.
But they aren't random claw marks. They form a giant, crude smiley face.
A smiley face. That is almost worse than a threat.
It's mocking.
It's playful in a really sick way.
It connects back to that idea of boredom we talked about in the intro. The entity isn't trying to scare her away initially. It's trying to engage with her.
It's poking her.
It's like an internet troll living in your walls. It wants a reaction.
Amidst all this creepiness, we also have a romance subplot. Clio reconnects with Austin. He's the childhood neighbor, and he's now a quote-unquote hot nurse working at a senior center.
The dynamic here is really important for Clio's character development. It's a physical relationship initially. She resists intimacy.
She treats him like a distraction, almost using him.
But Austin is sweet. He remembers her as a child. He validates her. He tells her she wasn't creepy as a kid, which directly contradicts the family narrative that Clio was the problem child.
But then we have the note incident. This is so painful to read. Austin leaves a sweet, slightly sexy note for Clio. And who finds it? Dad.
And Dad shames her for it. He treats her like a teenager, making her feel dirty and irresponsible.
And Clio notes that this mirrors exactly how Dad used to shame Mom.
He used to call Mom selfish or accuse her of wanting attention. He uses the exact same language on Clio. It's that pattern repeating itself.
It's the control, the judgment. He cannot handle women having autonomy or desires. And the psychological toll starts to hit Clio hard. She starts to unravel.
She wonders, am I imagining the smiley face Am I actually becoming my mother?
That is the ultimate fear for these sisters, becoming the crazy mother.
It's the fear that their own reality is unreliable. It's the fear that the patriarchy is right about them, that they are just hysterical women.
And then, the fire. Clio tries to escape. She goes back to NYC to get away from the house, but her apartment building catches fire.
It's arson by a neighbor she jokingly encouraged, but the timing is undeniable.
She takes it as a sign.
The bad energy is following her. She has nowhere to live in the city. She is forced back to Edgewood.
It's like the house is reeling her back in and won't let her go.
Oh.
So she goes back and she digs deeper. And in section 4, we finally get to the truth about the demon. This is where the story completely flips the script.
This is the subversion of the genre we discussed. We learn that it's not a standard ghost. It doesn't want revenge. The key insight Clio has is that the demon is bored.
Bored. It sounds so human, in the worst possible way.
It feeds on attention, it feeds on drama, it feeds on negative emotion. It's an energy vampire, but specifically, it loves a show.
And Clio. Clio is chaotic.
She is reactive, she screams, she breaks things, she has big emotions.
She realizes, I'm its favorite.
That is such a chilling realization. To be the favorite of a parasite, it likes her because she's fun. Lita is too rigid. She doesn't give the demon the reaction it wants. Daphne is too quiet. But Clio is a fireworks show.
Meanwhile, the family, Dad, Lita, Daphne, they refuse to believe her. They think she's having a complete breakdown.
They think she's on drugs or just acting out for attention.
They actually threaten her with a 5150, a psychiatric hold. And this is where the supernatural serves as a perfect metaphor for how women's pain is dismissed.
The dad insists the demon isn't real, even though, as we find out from Aunt Helen, he knows the truth.
He knows it's real.
He just refuses to acknowledge it because acknowledging it means admitting he was wrong and admitting he destroyed his wife for absolutely nothing.
It is the ultimate gaslighting. He would rather commit his own daughter to a psych ward than admit the house is haunted.
Because if the house is haunted, he's the villain. If Clio is crazy, he gets to remain the hero.
Wow.
It is entirely about preserving his ego and his narrative. He is willing to sacrifice his daughter's freedom to maintain his self-image.
That is so heavy. So we get to section 5, the climax, the family intervention. Dad organizes this family therapy session, but it's really an ambush to get Clio to commit to treatment.
Lita and Daphne come back to the house to save her. And Clio tries to prove she's not crazy. She tries to show them the smiley face scratches.
And this is classic horror. The demon hides them. Or she painted over them and they're gone.
The gaslighting ghost, it's actively participating in the gaslighting?
Exactly. It knows exactly what it's doing. It wants her to look crazy.
Yeah.
But then the cabinets start opening and closing. Lita sees it.
But Lita, being Lita, rationalizes it.
Right.
She says it's a trick. She says there must be a machine. She cannot accept the irrational because her entire worldview is built on order.
And this leads to the explosion. But the tension doesn't explode at the demon. It explodes between the sisters.
This is the scene that defines the book for me. It is physically violent. Lita snaps. She hits Daphne.
She completely backhands her.
And then they're having a full-on brawl in the kitchen. Hair pulling, shoving, years of resentment of playing roles, the perfectionist versus the peacemaker. It all comes pouring out.
The mask of the perfect family is completely ripped off.
And what does the demon do?
It laughs.
The house actually shakes with laughter.
That is the moment of clarity for Clio. The demon isn't trying to scare them away, it's watching them like it's reality TV.
It loves the sisters fighting, it is eating it up, it's the audience, and they are the performers.
It is disgusting. It's totally voyeuristic.
And Lita, in the heat of this, admits she did read the mom's book.
The hypocrite.
She was the one judging Clio for breaking the promise, but she read it too. She admits she was jealous of Daphne and Clio's freedom.
And Daphne snaps and admits she hates being the peacemaker. The roles they played to survive their childhood are destroyed.
So everyone is raw, everyone is exposed, and the demon is having the time of its life. Which brings us to section 6. The sacrifice and the escape.
Chaos is reigning. Daphne, in her panic, tries to climb the attic ladder. She thinks Roy, the stepdad demonologist, is up there, or maybe she just wants to escape the room.
But Clio knows it is up there, the demon.
And to save her sister, Clio has to make a choice. She realizes she can't fight the demon with force. She has to give it what it wants, a distraction, and then cut the feed.
Let's talk about that necklace. It's a symbol of her vanity, her armor. It's from her friend's jewelry line. It has diamond eyes. It's literally her impeccable vibes.
She offers it to the invisible entity on the ladder. And we get this visceral interaction. An invisible claw takes the necklace, it prods her cheek,
It touches her face.
and Clio tries to fake cry to appease it, but it recoils. It knows she's faking.
It is an expert in emotion, but it accepts the shiny object. It likes the tribute. It's like paying a toll.
And this is where Clio figures out the winning strategy, the play nice strategy.
She realizes you can't win against a narcissist, and you can't win against a bored demon by fighting.
If you fight, you give them drama.
If you scream, you feed them. The only way to win is to stop playing the game entirely.
It's the gray rock method, isn't it?
Precisely. In psychology, gray rocking is when you become as uninteresting as a rock to a toxic person so they lose interest.
Clio realizes she has to gray rock the supernatural.
She gets her sisters out of the house. She just removes the audience.
It's de-escalation. It's the exact opposite of an exorcism. An exorcism is a battle of wills. This is just walking away. It's refusing to give the bully the satisfaction.
Which brings us to the aftermath in Section 7, the diner scene.
The sisters are bruised, beaten, eating McDonald's. It's such a grounding image after the supernatural chaos.
They are finally aligned. They are unified against the dad and the world.
They accept their scars. Clio has physical scars, and they all have emotional ones. But they accept them as proof of their reality.
Yeah.
They are done hiding the bruises.
And they get vindication. And Helen confirms the demon is real. She confirms dad knew. He just didn't want to deal with it, so he made mom the scapegoat.
That must be so validating, but also so infuriating. It confirms that their mother wasn't crazy. She was just reacting to an impossible situation.
It changes their entire memory of their childhood.
So how does it end for Clio? Did she get the guy? Did she get the happy ending?
Interestingly, no. She pushes Austin away. She likes him, but she realizes she's still working on herself.
She's not ready for that happily ever after.
They stay friends, but she prioritizes herself.
I respect that. It feels honest. And her career.
She launches a fashion line with a romantic gothic aesthetic. She turns her trauma into art. She capitalizes on the impeccable vibes of her experience.
She monetizes the trauma. Very millennial.
And the house.
They leave it. They don't sell it immediately. They don't exorcise it. They just stop feeding it. They leave the demon alone in the dark with its boredom.
And the final image is the Halloween party. The family is there, pretending everything is normal, playing nice. But the sisters share a look.
They know the truth. They're the only ones who know what really happened. It's a powerful ending because it acknowledges that you can't always blow up the family structure completely. Sometimes you still have to show up to the party.
But you don't have to believe the lie anymore. You don't have to be the victim of the narrative. You can play nice on the surface, but hold the truth in your pocket.
Okay, so what does this all mean for you listening at home? Let's connect this to the bigger picture.
Well, this story isn't just a ghost story. It's a story about breaking the cycle of family trauma by refusing to play the game assigned to you.
The demon represents the toxicity that thrives on drama. The dad represents the system that denies your reality.
The title is so ironic. Women are taught to play nice, but sometimes survival requires being nasty. It requires being truthful and scarred and messy.
Clio survives because she is messy. Because she is the favorite of the chaos. If she had been nice like Daphne or rigid like Lita, she might not have made it.
Her impeccable vibes and her cynicism actually saved her. Her refusal to open her heart in a way protected it until she was strong enough to handle the truth.
And here's a provocative thought to leave you with. If the demon fed on their drama, was the haunting actually just a manifestation of their repressed family issues? Or does it matter?
That is the question. If the scars are real, the monster is real. Whether it's a demon or just the toxicity of a patriarchal family structure, the wounds look the same. The pain is real.
Oof. That is going to stick with me. If the scars are real, the monster is real.
Indeed. It forces us to reconsider what we define as a monster.
Well, that is our deep dive. If you want a book that will make you laugh, cringe, and maybe sleep with the lights on, definitely check it out. It's a wild ride.
Highly recommended. It's a perfect blend of modern snark and old school horror.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Stay curious.
See ya.